Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 228. We're missing Sean. He I don't know. He's doing something. His sleep schedule's all messed up. He's tweeting random things in the middle of the night.
Random
Middle
of the night. It was bright and early.
Just when did he tweet that? When did he put that one out?
It was like 5 a.m. when he asked to see titties.
It was 5 a.m.
Yeah.
I never check the times that people tweet this stuff. But I should look. We should get confirmation on that he really tweeted that out at like 5 some odd a.m.
We need a bonk emote, Evan.
Yeah. Bonk emote.
We need a bonk emote.
5:10 a.m.
Bonk.
All right, let's go around here though, because we have a bunch of stuff to go over. Including some Grand Theft Auto remasters that are now rumored through a report out of Kotaku. We got to talk about that abandoned reveal. What was this update? I don't even know what we call it. Abandoned. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about the Nintendo Indie World presentation as well. We have MVG returning to the podcast. MVG, how you doing?
What's going on? I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on. Great to be here.
Good to have MVG here. We got OJ, Player Essence. How's it going, OJ?
Doing good.
Good to have OJ here. OJ's doing a lot of pre-streams before the podcast too. So if you're just kind of hanging out waiting for a Spawncast to happen like an hour or two before, make sure you check out OJ over on Player Essence.
Yeah, I was supposed to have RGT on. We planned and then yeah.
He said he's going to try to get some sleep or something. I don't know.
It didn't happen, but he did it last week. So look out for that. Maybe RGT comes back. Maybe we're going to talk like some like random stuff like basketball and some other things. So if you're into some of that, it might just be some like random discussions on different stuff and also games. So should be pretty cool. But I'm pretty reliable with my streaming. Sean isn't. So random. I'll be doing it every single
random week. Stuff is a dangerous game to play with, Sean. So good luck.
Yeah. Tell you about Sonic and cocaine.
And we have Miss Click. How's it going?
Hi. Yeah, it's going great. Thanks for having me.
Good to have Click here. Yeah. Don't read Sean's Twitter account. And we have Evan. How you doing, Evan?
Doing all right.
How's free comic book day?
It was good. It was wild. I was only there for like an hour and a half. So
they actually give out free comic books.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Do you get to choose the comic book, or they just give you one?
This time they did packages. They tried to limit the amount of people showing up because there's always way too many people at these events. They tried to streamline it a little.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. We have Nate the Hate.
Yes, I'm watching the Yankee game. So
if you hear a squeaky hamster wheel, apparently that's Nate's
it's my ceiling fan. It is 90 degrees at 9 p.m. It's very humid, so it still feels like 98. So it's quite disgusting around here right now. So I need the ceiling fan on, or I will literally die.
So you don't have like central air or any of that?
No, I have a ceiling fan and I open my windows.
All right.
Eventually I'll get a nice sea breeze.
Oh, okay.
You can get a you know what fan I use? Because I actually don't have a ceiling fan. I use a silent fan that I set right over here. That's a lot more quiet. Maybe you can look into one of those.
What about an air conditioning?
No,
that's expensive.
That's for us in the South.
And for the West Coast.
I have it. Yeah, I've got air conditioning.
The floor layout really wouldn't support an air conditioner. I would need one in every single room. And if I have to put in like 8 air conditioners, at that point, I may as well just say, what the hell am I doing?
That's way too expensive because my own air conditioning.
You're just going to have to move, Nate.
Yeah.
No.
It's time, Nate.
I also have access to a pool. So when I get hot,
half the time you come on here and there's like some kind of revolution in the background.
Yeah, there's always a revolutionary war happening right down the road. It's going to happen again tonight. So. I've already heard them blowing up some stuff, so it's an inevitability that you're going to hear a cannon go off, and I mean maybe the ceiling fan will fall out of the ceiling.
We have Max, Dreamcast guy. How you doing?
Hey, Hades on Xbox and PS5 this week. If you haven't played it, it's on Game Pass. Hades might be one of the best indies ever. I'm addicted to it. I'm just here to broadcast Hades.
It is. It's absolutely one of the best ever.
Very nice. Then we have Jordan Fringe.
Hi, glad to be here.
Jordan, the channel rolling along very nicely. Good to see.
Yeah, things are going well. I appreciate the support on the videos.
And let's go over here, Evan. Why don't we just start with a Discord question, actually, right away?
Let's go with any fun predictions for what this year's Game Awards controversy will be.
This is a good one.
That's a great question.
Game of the year.
Game of the year.
Game of the year.
Abandoned game of the year.
I do think it's going to be that. I'm going to make a specific prediction. I think it's going to be if the game of the year is a console exclusive. I feel like because so many people can't get PlayStation 5s and Xbox Series X, if it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive that nobody's played, people are going to be pissed.
I think the controversy for game of the year is going to be if Cyberpunk is nominated.
Yeah. Yeah, because it technically would be eligible. It's just going to be up to if the people, because remember they have certain outlets, publications, YouTube channels and stuff do the nominations.
Yeah. And to play devil's advocate, let's say we get the next gen patch ahead of the deadline and the patch is substantial and it fixes all the performance problems. Would that be enough? Because the game structure is still inherently flawed. But I think that would be the controversy for game of the year, or Death Stranding gets nominated because of the director's cut.
I kind of think that I almost wonder if the controversy would be, okay, Cyberpunk's in, but Monster Hunter Rise isn't.
That'd be
like I'm kind of thinking.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking of a game being left out. Like, remember when Fire Emblem got left out of Game of the Year nominations?
That was a bunch of just nerds like me, though, getting upset.
But I'm
vocal nerds.
What are you saying?
It's tough. Well, it's so niche almost, you know, like there'll be a certain amount that's livid, but certain other people will be like, I've never played a Monster Hunter. I was like that before Rise. I didn't really see the appeal of Monster Hunter.
But the whole thing was that Jeff Keighley was trying to model like the Oscars, and how many of those movies that get nominated as like the big movie award have we even heard about? A lot of people see it and they go, "Oh, I guess I'll go watch this now."
Literally, it feels like a promotion almost for movies that no one's seen.
Jordan's like the one person here that would have seen half those movies. All of us are like, can I Netflix it, or like that's So that's my thinking. It's like, I mean, Monster Hunter Rise has already sold a ton of copies too.
Yeah,
so.
That's the difference though. Like if it happened with Monster Hunter Rise, it's like, okay, you can give the excuse that that Fire Emblem's not niche, but 7 million units plus, Monster Hunter is nothing but niche. Like it's a huge it's almost billion. It's like $1 billion franchise, and it has a movie. Like it's not niche anymore, you know. So
that's kind of what I think the controversy could be, is that something left out where another thing gets in, like how we had Death Stranding getting in.
I have a controversy.
Okay, let's hear it.
What if? And I'm okay with this. I want to say for the record, what if Mass Effect Legendary Edition gets a nomination?
No controversy whatsoever, baby.
I'm all for it.
Well, how could we say that? But things like Yuffie DLC or Miles Morales or Death Stranding.
What'd you say?
How is that any different?
What?
Actually, I like this. Clicks right because if Mass Effect gets nominated, that means that Death Stranding, which might get another look as people have kind of aged on it a bit, maybe they enjoy it now, maybe that could find its way back in, and then Death Stranding wins Game of the Year for 2021.
Do you really want to invite that?
Well, so I remember a couple of years ago when Blood and Wine came out, when The Witcher Blood and Wine came out, that one, I can't remember, some website gave that RPG of the year, the DLC standalone, they gave it RPG.
The Game Awards did. The Game Awards gave that like a big, I think didn't it give it like something else? It gave it like, I forgot. I got to go back and check.
That standalone though was an entire new map and actually a ton of story. So so it's like a torrent situation, I guess. So yeah,
like
it just comes with the game. So
yeah. Okay, that was different though, because it was like a full. Can you play that standalone? Can you play it separate from the whole main story?
No, but when you buy the game itself, you get it. Like they're just like, here you go. So it is a little weird.
You have no Discord question, Evan?
Most underrated sports game. I'm gonna go with Windjammers. Buy Windjammers 2 when it comes out. Do it.
That's a good one, actually.
That's a great pick. And yes, check out
underrated sports game.
It'd be like action sport, NBA Hang Time. I think people kind of slept on NBA Hang Time back in the day when it came out.
It's another good game. It's another great game.
I'm gonna go with Sega Soccer Slam.
Yeah, Sega Soccer.
That was a really fun game I remember played that on the GameCube. I think it was on all platforms then. That one's very good. Everyone thinks of Mario Strikers, but that one was a lot of fun as well. Is what I would say there. Let's go to Grand Theft Auto Remasters. So this was an article that was posted up by Kotaku, and it exploded online. Grand Theft Auto Remasters were trending, or at least everyone's favorite Grand Theft Auto out of the three was trending. So you see Vice City 3, and then you saw San Andreas trending alongside just Grand Theft Auto Remaster. And see, Max already has them ready to go course. That's the okay. Yeah, that's the collection they put out, and it's still sealed. Yeah,
they kept this at Walmart for $10 for like 10 years. So I finally picked one up.
See, now, if you send that to Wada to get graded, that's easily 20 grand right now.
This is actually, if I ever go to college, this is my college fund.
That's a 9.8 rating right there.
That's I would say at least a 9.8. Look, the corners look pretty good on that.
The sticker on the side telling me what I can just read the label. Yeah. It's great.
Wow.
So this is apparently something they have to announce this soon, because according to them it's coming out in October or November or something. So it's coming up here, but the plan is Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, San Andreas, and they're redoing it in Unreal Engine, which is probably the part that surprised a lot of people, because it sounds like the game will look noticeably different. It's not going to be like PS2 style visuals, I guess. And they're going to release it all under one SKU. It's going to be all digital. And it's going to go to everything. That includes Stadia, the Switch, like places where it'd be a big deal. Like this would be the first time Nintendo's had a game like that on their home console. They've never had a Grand Theft Auto game.
Nate, when was the first time you heard about this? No, because I have a follow-up question.
We talked about hasn't this been talked about a long time ago?
This has been discussed a bit. It was more of a question of, is it going to happen? And we now have suitable evidence that suggests it is happening. So
the original games ran on renderware, which is not a thing anymore. It hasn't been for years. So engine swap to Unreal sounds like it's been in development for many, many years, at least 2, 3, maybe 4 years to get this stuff up and running. That was about right?
My thought as well. When I originally was hearing the idea that Rockstar had plans for the original trilogy as well as Red Dead Redemption 1, it dates back to about late 2018, early 2019. But the problem was because it was so long ago and you don't really hear continuous updates, it felt like maybe it was just an exploration type of project of, can we do this? Should we do it? What's the cost going to be? And can we find a developer and outfit them with a reasonable budget to make this happen? And to bring these games to Unreal, as you said, it does feel like it's quite a task. This isn't just a simple 6-month project. No. And as Kotaku reported, they wanted to do this last year.
Yeah.
And then they shifted it and said, we'll make this a bonus to anyone who buys Grand Theft Auto 5 on PlayStation 5 and next generation consoles. And all of a sudden, I guess Rockstar realized we can make money if we just sell this separately. And maybe it's just a case of what they thought was going to be a cheaper project ballooned. And they said, we have to make money back. We can't give these away anymore. But this does feel as though it was a project that was probably being considered for at least the past anywhere from 2.5 to 3 years.
See, I was thinking that maybe they were remaking one of them. Maybe they picked like San Andreas or something. They're like, let's remake this one in Unreal Engine. We'll see how it does. And maybe that was going to be a pre-order bonus for a little while. And then they realized, oh wow, we can do all 3 of them. Put it in Unreal. I assume if they put it in Unreal Engine, they can do what Rockstar does and continue to move this through generations that they want. Like on the PS6, I like these could just show up if they want them to.
Well, in theory, but Unreal Engine has a nasty habit of changing completely with every version it is released. So I mean that may be true, right? But like, let's say they are they using Unreal Engine 4 for this?
I think they just said Unreal Engine is all they said.
Right. So I mean, if it's Unreal Engine 4, then going to Unreal Engine 5 is not an easy task. So I think the move to Unreal Engine, if that's real, is an interesting one, because why would they need to do that? You know, other than, like you said, John, maybe just keeping it relevant in modern kind of, you know, video games, and potentially bring it forward to newer systems as they come out, because there's nothing really compelling to move off of renderware. And we've also seen, you know, on the Vita, right? I mean, you can run homebrew versions of all 3 of these games. And Max was showing the trilogy that came out for the PS2. I mean, it came out like in 2009 or something like
it's on the PS. It's on the PS4. You can play it on the PS4 as well.
Yeah,
like they have Grand Theft on there.
The trilogy isn't anything really special in of itself, so it's an interesting move that they're making, and I am curious to see how this all turns out for them. I mean, I'm sure it'll do really well, especially on the Switch.
Go ahead, Max.
I was going to say, I'm most curious about quality of life changes. So when the PlayStation 5 came out, I decided for the fun of it to play through Vice City again completely. And let me tell you, that game has some terrible camera choices, how gas is X and then L and R to look left and right. It's terrible. It's one of those things where it's still fun and the story is still great and the music, of course, is legendary. But I'm hoping that we get some updated like aiming and controls and the ability to move and shoot or something. Because right now, modern gamers could not play that game.
I feel like they probably are going to change that up to like, I think this is going to like feel like a legit like step up for the series with that. And I mean, that's exciting. I think for like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, because San Andreas is a phenomenal Grand Theft Auto game, and that's still my favorite one. I would really like to go back and try it again through like Unreal Engine, you know, more streamlined and current controls, and who knows, maybe they play around with the HUD and do different things there.
Well, that's the thing with this project, and even with the move to Unreal Engine, it's a question of how far are they actually going with these assets? Are we going to see something substantial in terms of visual changes, or is it going to do its best to replicate what they had, and it's still going to have that authentic look? It's just basically asset swapped into Unreal Engine.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. They're going to have it so it like they're like, all right, that looks pretty good on a 4K set. We're good there, like significantly better than like what we had with the PS2, right? Like that. So, but it's also going to be. I mean, this is the first time a Grand Theft Auto game would come to a Nintendo home console, right? I mean, that's substantial.
Yeah, there were originally plans to bring Grand Theft Auto 3 to the GameCube. Those plans were canceled for really, there was no actual reason given. The project was just canceled. So this would be the first time that we finally see a mainline Grand Theft Auto game arrive on a Nintendo home console.
Well, let's say it gets announced. What do you think took so long for it to happen?
This trilogy itself?
No, I mean just like Grand Theft Auto coming back to the Nintendo
honest
home
opinion?
console. Yeah, what do you think?
I don't care.
You don't care?
Yeah, I agree. They're just raking money with GTA 5. It's like, we'll get around to it when we're ready.
The funny thing is, a lot of people don't like when you try to tell people that, because I said the same thing. People ask that question, well, what's taking so long? There's money to be made on all these systems. I'm like, well, you have to care. There's all things that anybody can do. We could do if we really wanted to. Everybody can make videos in 4K, but we'd have to care about doing that 20%.
I still think
you know
I still think Rockstar and Take-Two got comfortable with GTA 5. Like I do wonder if GTA 5 didn't have GTA Online, if we would have GTA 7 by now.
Well, so
a quick question: will the hot coffee mod make the game?
That's the real
taking my comment.
Do you think they have like an Easter egg just call to it, not necessarily like this is the whole thing, but like just like some kind of fun like nod.
I'm sure there's a trophy for it. Yeah,
trophy or achievement.
The first time you go on a date, I bet it's called hot coffee. But I was going to say is, I hope that if this is successful, I hope, because my favorite Grand Theft Auto of all time is actually Vice City Stories, because Vice City Stories had this like kingdom building system where you'd actually buy property and level it up and stuff inside of a really good Grand Theft Auto Vice City game. I hope that if this is successful, they take that and do that too, because man, that game is good.
They did say that in the article. They said that if this is successful, they particularly mentioned Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah,
that game getting some type of remaster.
This is where I'm going to call bullshit, because Red Dead Redemption 1, it's a known fact that the code for that game is in such a terrible state that they don't even know what to do with. Like, it's not easy just to port that thing. It's like it's a mess, absolute mess.
It would be a serious investment on their part to basically remaster it or remake. I guess they'd be remaking it essentially, right?
It's not like they have the money or anything to do that.
I think I think it's more the developer power behind it, because they have to allot developers for probably, I would assume, a couple of years to make that work. Whereas they could be working on the next expansion or update for Grand Theft Auto Online instead.
Well, that's the thing. In case chat forgot, because I see a lot of people saying stuff about the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. Grand Theft Auto 5, and we all know this, is the highest profiting entertainment thing ever. It has made like, I think, $11 billion now, just GTA 5, not in the whole series, just GTA 5 by itself. So once you have $11 billion, it's hard to be like, all right, what should we invent? What should we remake? We have $11 billion.
I think that's one of the reasons I'm like, oh wow, they're actually doing something. Being Rockstar. I mean, they brought in Ruffian Games, and they turned them into, what was it, Rockstar? What's the name for the studio that they turned them into?
Like a European thing, right?
I have to look up the name for it. It's Rockstar something. But it's them bringing them in. They brought him in obviously for this reason to get this done. So
it buys them time for Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh God. Did you say how it buys them for time for Grand Theft Auto 6?
They've had plenty of time.
Here's a new release. Here's the trilogy people covet, and they now afford themselves another 2 or 3 years until they have to bring Grand Theft Auto 6 to the market.
Did you say 4 years?
My daughter's about to be 11 or 12. She's gonna be a teenager. She was not even born. She was like a baby. She's gonna be
you keep selling
a teenager by the time Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. They've had plenty of time.
I sell 20 million copies a year. What's the rush?
I'm not exaggerating. She will be a teenager by the time this game comes out. From baby to teenager.
I'm picturing
Grand Theft Auto 5.
You're playing GTA 5. You beat it. You're like, this is a great game. I'm gonna go meet a lady. You meet a lady, have a kid. She grows up to being a teenager. It's like, all right, time to play the game again.
It was Rockstar Dundee. People in the chat were pointing out the name of the studio. Yep. Now I think if there was no Grand Theft Auto Online, we would have Grand Theft Auto 6 already.
So as this company, after they're done with this, trilogy, they should just start working on fixing up Red Dead then and getting it ready if they're not going to be part of GTA 6's development.
Yeah, I guess the article says that they're going to gauge how things go with these. To me, that sounds like a little too much information for the report. I don't know if they're reading into that themselves, the person who wrote it or something, or just someone in marketing or wherever was like, I bet you if this sells well, we'll do Red Dead Redemption or something next.
It could just be internal. It could be internal hopes of we might visit some of the backlog of our classics from that generation, but it's probably far from written in stone. It's probably not even planned as far as like prototypes or anything. It's just, what could we do if this is received well?
Well,
wouldn't it be? As long as this is gonna sell.
Oh yeah, it's gonna sell really well.
Like 20 million. What is that? I'd probably say like more, maybe 20 plus million for this.
I bet you over the holidays, I bet you it's 10 million easy.
Is this the $60 game for the remaster?
Yeah, 60.
Yeah. You think they try for 70 on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X?
Yeah, maybe they can charge it. People would buy it.
Why not? If they put it on PS5, I'd buy it for 70.
Have you guys ever just spent, maybe like Evan or something, have you guys ever just spent like an evening going through all of the GTA 5 online role-playing server streamers?
There's a few I jump around on, yeah.
Have you spent a night? Because it is a wild ride. Like when I tell you there's so much entertainment to be had, and it is way better than any scripted reality TV show ever.
It's weird a little bit. I did watch somebody for 4 hours be a Wendy's employee.
It all depends on who you watch, but it's always great to hear them talk about. They're all waiting for just Rockstar to pull the plug on it. They're all waiting for them to just be like, nope, and then just stop it all.
Max, that wasn't in game though. You just stood outside of a Wendy's for 4 hours.
True. I was watching one where this guy two people were role playing as man on the street interviewers for a news channel, and like fans were walking up and talking to them, and one guy was like, what's your biggest dream, sir? And it's like, to murder someone. And he just suddenly has a shotgun and the whole freaking.
You know what's going to happen? I bet GTA 6 is going to have VR in some way for that kind of stuff. I bet you that's going to happen. Yeah, I have a feeling that's gonna be a thing for GTA 6. But yeah, I mean, hey, I'm looking forward. I assume they're gonna unveil it soon. Maybe it's part of Sony's State of Play or something, because it's gonna go alongside the GTA 5 remaster patch for PS5 that Sony seems to be marketing right now. So.
Do you think, one question before we move on, do you think what they're going to do is break off GTA Online to be its own standalone thing so that GTA 6 can come out and then they do the online and then they merge them back together again? Sort of like what they're doing with Warzone, where Call of Duty Warzone is a freestanding thing, but now they're just going to keep it with other games.
I feel like they should. Like GTA Online should just be an app that's put off to the side and it's just free to play. But I mean, they keep selling GTA 5 and people need to stop buying it because we're never going to get GTA 6. People need to stop buying GTA 5 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because I would like sequel to these games, please.
True.
Stop buying them. Let's just stop doing that now. But it's I mean, it does appear from what I'm saying GTA 5 sales are declining slightly. So maybe that's because people are holding off for the PS5. Well, I don't know, but
after nearly a decade, that's crazy.
I think they're hitting market saturation. Every person in the world who wants a copy has
it. No, I asked. I asked in a poll. I said, "Have you played GTA 5 yet?" Like 35% of people said they haven't played it yet.
But you're also a Nintendo focused channel. It's not on a Nintendo console.
I haven't played GTA 5.
It's not a Nintendo.
No, no. You should see some of the polls I run. It doesn't matter if I run it for. I get more PlayStation votes than anything else. Yeah. So like I would say, because I even had a poll. I was like, "How many times have you bought it? 3 times, 2 times, 1 time, and then like none." And like 30 some odd % people said that they've never bought GTA 5. So I'm like, this is never gonna end. It's not gonna. People are just gonna keep buying it. It's if you think about it, I guess gamers have cycled through now. So like we have a lot of gamers who have never played these older Grand Theft Auto games on the PS2 even, and GTA 5 is getting to the point where it's gone through 2 generations now. So San Andreas, I ran a poll for that, and I think like 35% of people say they have never played San Andreas.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's just, I mean, San Andreas is old. A lot of these games are old. We're old.
So are we.
So yeah,
that's the bigger tale here, is that we're old.
Yeah, other than Jordan and Click, we're all
closer to
people.
death.
I had gray hair this morning, so I'm there with you now. Okay.
Imagine having
Shut
hair.
up, Fringe.
Yeah. Let's get a Discord question, Evan.
Continuing on the Legend of Zelda movie discussion, how would you feel about a animated Legend of Zelda series made by Gendy Tarkovsky, who did Samurai Jack and Primal?
Oh,
that would be visually
interesting.
Fascinating.
I think anybody that Nintendo approves of, it's probably like I'll trust them because they're pretty picky with their IPs. You know what I mean? Anything animated, I'll be fine.
Do you know why I like that idea? That you said the person for Samurai Jack,
didn't
right?
talk for the longest time.
Didn't have to talk in that. That makes sense actually, because then Link would probably never have to say a word, and they'd still be able to get a lot of things like across the viewer. I like that idea.
I would say that's probably the best choice. Second would be Studio Ghibli. Yeah. Studio Ghibli.
So wait a minute, you guys don't want him saying "excuse me" like every single 2-3 minutes?
No, get enough.
No need for a catchphrase.
Hell no.
Excuse me, princess. All right, sorry. Okay, never mind.
We have another Discord question, Evan.
Do you guys think we'll get any official news about Dead Island 2 before the end of the year?
Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting that game even exists.
No.
I do. No. Yeah, I forgot it exists.
Wow. I really do. I keep forgetting about it.
I think they're waiting till Dying Light 2 is getting a surprising amount of conversation about it. I think once Dying Light 2 is out, I think if Dead Island 2 is still in development, they'll talk about it after that hype cycle.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Dying Light 2. It looks pretty good from what I just hope it is actually coming out this year.
I mean, they seem pretty hardcore on the date. We're gonna play it co-op, right? I've never played Dying Light co-op, and I hear good things.
Ooh, I haven't played that co-op either. So let's go over to Nintendo Indie World. I thought it was pretty.
We don't have the key person who has to be here for this topic. Sean has to be here and eat crow.
Oh, he does.
Metal Slug
Of course he missed
terrible.
That's why he's not here.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's not here. The bum.
Ducking.
I can't play. That's a good point. I forgot all about that. What happened here?
Minutes back in June, he's like, "This game looks terrible." Then it comes out at the friggin' indie show, and what's Sean on Twitter? "I can't believe I hated this game. This looks fantastic." You flip flop off.
All they did was just show another trailer. It was like a 2-minute trailer. We argued
the exact same thing.
Footage. Like a little bit of new footage.
Logo.
Hey, it gets him the clicks, man. It gets him the clicks.
I wish he was here to walk us through this exactly how this all happened.
It showed the same gameplay. It was the same intro. Sean, dude, it's all hyped for it because it's bing.
All it had was the Switch video at the start there, and that'll do it.
Oh man,
we debated him for 15 minutes saying why it was good, and he's like, "Nah, this game is shit. This is trash. Why isn't it just a Metal Slug game? Oh, it's at an indie direct, and all of a sudden it's a good game, huh?"
SVB said in the chat, "Sean won't eat crow unless you get it on Uber Eats." That's good. Let's go through the Indie World Showcase though, because we'll come up to Metal Slug again. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Some Team Reptile. That game.
Told you guys that game looked good.
Awesome.
That's my highlight.
It's been on Steam for a little while now. I think we talked about this end of last year.
I don't know if we talked about it. I know you guys kept bringing up Jet Set Radio, and I kept pointing out that there was this other game.
It was a topic in Newswave at one point. One of the initial points I remember, because I remember going over this game a while back. But it's coming to the Switch, and this is coming out early next year. Yes. So I saw this game and immediately I was like, wow, okay, it looks really good. It's coming to the Switch, and it is certainly it's Jet Set Radio. Like that's what it is.
That's all it needs to be.
Which is great because a lot of people weren't aware of this game, and now everyone I saw online was talking about it because they showed off like the painting mechanics, the visuals, the movement. They were even grinding around the rails and all of this. The music. I mean, this is, if you've wanted a new Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio, this looks like the game to pick up. So I'm all about this one. They had Eastward. That's from Chucklefish. That's actually coming out September 16th, and I did not look into this game too much, but people seemed really excited for it. It's an RPG.
Yeah, it's The Last of Us meets Zelda.
Interesting. Okay.
It looks cool. Like everyone in the chat when I was watching it was like, this game is really good. Like it's going to be super good. And then I watched some trailers, some more stuff on it, and I was like, oh snap, it actually looks kind of dope. Kind of like Earthbound type of.
Yeah. Like, it was announced 2 years ago. And people have been waiting ever since to hear more about it. And I mean, it's coming out September 16th. So it's next month. It's going to be out. So yeah, I'll check that one out. Definitely. Yeah. People were really excited for it. So that was cool to see. And then we had Tome from Something We Made. It's the hand-drawn adventure game where you walk around and take pictures of stuff. The visual style was I guess interesting looking, but I don't know if I'm going to be playing that one. Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon.
Like that one.
Yeah, that's coming out this winter, it says. So we don't know if it's this year or beginning of next year, but I was already picking that one up. It still looks really good. Metal Slug Tactics. Okay, so
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So we were just talking about Sean with this one. He flipped on it, but it's coming out for Nintendo Switch in 2022. There we go. Sean's on board now. And it still looks good. We talked about this last time when they first showed it. It looks good.
So awesome.
So I'm already saw it. It's Metal Slug, the visual style. They even have like the kind of the anime cutscenes and all this in there.
I like that they showed that as you get to the end of the map, it like pops up the next section, so it almost feels like you're just exploring through a tactics game, which is kind of cool.
Yep. So I'm on board.
I also like how the maps aren't too big. Like they keep it kind of contained. Like they're not like massive like Fire Emblem maps. So I mean, I think that was a good call to make it kind of like more bite-sized a bit.
Yeah, and I know it's obvious to say this, but the art style is true to the original as well. Yeah. I mean, they could have easily gone a little crazy with the animations and just gone really stupid with that stuff, but they've really respected the original art, and I love it.
I almost wonder if like we see a game like Metal Slug, right? And the visuals obviously are more for like the more retro side of things, right? Like they're shooting for a 90s look, for example, with it. I almost feel like if they're thinking, okay, we need to change this up drastically for it to make sense now, and they just do too much with it. Some of these studios. So you're right. I do like that they were like, no, we're shooting for an obvious demographic here with these visuals. We're going to stick with it. And I think that's a good move. I mean, how much is the game? Do we have a price on it at all?
I don't believe the price has been given yet.
I mean, I assume it's going to be like 20 or 25 or something.
Yeah. I just hope there's a physical copy.
Physical for 30. Me too. Yeah, physical for $4. I'd pay $40 for a physical.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. I'd be grabbing that immediately. So I guess Limited Run would do it if they did it. Yeah. Tetris Effect.
Yes.
That's a good game.
That's no more game. Tetris 99. Good. Normal Tetris now.
So I will say, if you pick up, this is coming out October 8th. If you pick up Tetris Effect and you have an OLED screen, like it looks super impressive. I was playing it on my Xbox. I actually liked a week or two ago before this Indie World, and it looks incredible. It sounds great too if you have a nice sound system. This is an awesome game. It also has crossplay, by the way, is what they have included here in the press release.
Yeah, I'm not even a huge Tetris fan, to be honest, because it just stresses me out. But Tetris Effect, like flat out, is one of those things that like got me interested in Tetris.
Yeah,
on the 99.
Tetris Effect has this strange, like soothing kind of feeling to it. So it's very relaxing, and in VR, it's mind blowing at times.
Yeah, VR is a life changing experience.
How do you handle it in VR? I feel like I get so dizzy.
It's not too bad. It just gives you some depth. It gives you depth to everything when you're
it's just like all the effects just fly around.
So think about like the big whale in the background or something going on, and it's that I can tell how far away it is. Yeah, it's really cool though.
It's really good in VR, and I'm someone that sometimes I feel a little nauseous in VR. Playing some games like Drive Club VR. Oh, forget it. I can't play that game for more than like.
Hold on. Did you ever try like Gran Turismo in VR? Sport?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was rough. Like
that's the first one I tried.
Racing games aren't good for me on VR, but Tetris Effect is actually really good. It's a good experience.
Yeah, that one tripped me out. When that was the first real VR like PlayStation game I played was Sport, and that was really weird. But you know what you call it was Zone of the Enders. That has VR, and that is all over the place, messed up.
Yes, same with Ace Combat. Ace Combat's got a VR levels, and I can't do it, man. It's too much.
Moving without G-force feels weird.
Yep, pretty much.
Nate's in the Tetris Effect trailer, by the way.
What'd you say? What?
Nate's in the trailer for Tetris Effect. It shows a bunch of different accounts playing the game, and there's an account that says Rhode Island. So,
well,
I'm glad you're able to make it in there.
See, there's a little known fact about Tetris.
Oh,
you
God.
know the
Here we go.
Tetris piece. Do you know the names of Tetris pieces?
Does
anybody know the name of the Tetris pieces?
I just know the musician really doesn't make any money off it.
Yeah.
Like those names?
That one called Brick. Square piece. Now, what are all the pieces?
I didn't even know that there's names. I didn't even know.
Yeah, I mean, you have the L block.
Yep.
IoT.
One of them is it's named the Rhode Island. It's named after Rhode Island.
Which one
You
is
did
that?
not know that,
It's
did you?
the square, right? The most annoying one.
Let me check which one it actually is.
Is it the Kaneko piece?
Shut up, MDG.
Is it the straight 4-piece because it's like a road for Rhode Island? No.
I like that. It's funny.
Can't even spell. It's the Z.
Oh, okay, got it.
That is the Rhode Island block.
Does that look like Rhode Island?
Why? What's the history behind that, Nate?
How the hell do I know? I'm not some Russian who developed it.
Wait.
What do you mean? You're coming here with the facts. You're like, hey, here's this really cool fact.
I'm
tell us how that came to be.
If you go into the instruction book, it will be called the Rhode Island Z.
Well, shout out to
nothing, Nate.
Shout out to Pico for becoming a member. Appreciate it, Pico.
Pico. Shout outs.
And let's see. Then we had Loop Hero.
Yay.
That was a
Loop Hero.
That was a
Yes.
big one on PC for a while there.
Yeah, I used to watch it on PC. Yeah, it looks really cool. Like I want to try it out for sure.
We started getting a bunch of like this may have been the Nintendo Direct or Indie World Direct or whatever it was with the most shadow drops, or just I think they had 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah,
like they were just dropping them left and right. Boyfriend Dungeon, that is already out. Necro Barista, that one they released as well. Islanders, that's the console edition. That's out. Garden Story, that one also came out. Then they had Slime Rancher Portable Edition. And the other one they released was Axiom Verge 2.
Yes. Yep.
But
go ahead.
I have to say this. If you want to play a game where you're going to date your sword, just play Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Yeah.
I've heard some kind of bad things about Boyfriend Dungeon. I've heard the dungeons are fun, but the writing is weird.
Huh. That's it sounds like an interesting idea for a game, I guess. I don't know. It's not what I would have thought of. So
make sure you beat the game too. Xeno 2, make sure you beat it.
Yeah.
Get all the way through to that.
So Axiom Verge 2, that release, I bought it immediately and downloaded it. I've played it for 3 or 4 hours now.
It's good.
It's very good. It feels like Axiom Verge, right? I like the setting for this one more, I think, though. I don't know if it's because you're basically in the Arctic and they're like, right, they have some cool setting pieces to it.
The setting, the environments, they feel a bit more fleshed out compared to the original.
Yep. And there's that thing with I don't know if you go into another world or dimension or wherever it is, but you become a robot and you run around in it. I don't know if I like that as much. Yeah. I don't know if it's the movement for that or what, but it wasn't clicking with me as well. They even give you a little grappling hook eventually, and it's just even that doesn't feel like it's as tight as you want it for the controls.
Yeah, it feels like a blend of Metroidvania with like a touch of Zelda, and it's kind of like that Zelda element that's not quite clicking with me perfectly right now. But I mean, the exploration and the core gameplay is still pretty solid, and for the price.
Is there have you come across because I was like, there's no fast travel for this part. Like, I don't know. It seemed weird when I was playing through. I'm like, I feel like they would have like looked to add that in like quickly, like early on.
I Maybe if I'm missing it.
I find myself running constantly, just walking all the time in this game. It's like Death Stranding, in 2D over here. And that's the one thing I'm running into now. I assume there will be a fast travel at some point, but I've not found it yet. However, I do know this is a game where you're just going to find a bunch of stuff and it'll continue to make you better and better in the game. So I'm going to keep playing it. Unfortunately, I just ran into another game that I have to play through first. So we'll get there. We'll get there. This was a pretty good direct, though. It's Indie World presentation, I would say. What was everyone's thoughts on it overall?
Good. Very fun. Very snappy and fast. I kind of appreciate the fact that it was just like, here's a game, this one's out, here's a game, here's when that's coming out next year. I appreciated just the super quick pace of it.
I think because... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead, Click. You're fine.
I was saying, I think because they don't dwell on games too long, you don't get fatigued of them. But also, like, with all the shadow drops as well, I think it benefits a lot more in the long run because people kind of, like, look forward to it. Like, okay, if we're going to watch something now, like, what am I able to get my hands on immediately after? But also, I think just because people, like, I think people are tired of waiting. And I know that's kind of like a instant gratification thing. But I feel like more people have better reception when it's like, oh, I guess I'll try it. I have nothing else to do today, and I feel like people tend to like that a little bit more. I don't know. I really do like the shadow drops, though. And I think overall, like, it's crazy to think that we've gone from there not being enough indie support in the previous generation to now we have so many that we're having indie directs to fill in between the time of normal directs that it's like, I don't know. It's just it's crazy how the tables have turned, but...
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on in this one. Like I said, I like the number of shadow drops. It's just fun to see a game that you think looks good, and then it's like, oh, you can go download it now if you want.
Exactly.
You can go and buy it. It's pretty cool. Or at least have a demo ready or something. Axiom Verge 2 was a bit surprising. That was a big one to just drop.
All it was missing is for me to give it an A. I thought it was a solid B. If it just had like one of the big three, TMNT, Silk Song or Sports Story. If it had one of those, then it would have been like perfect, probably the best one. Or one of the best, or easily the best one. But
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Silk Song right now.
Yeah,
it's
I think that's going to be in a regular direct. I don't think it's going to be in the indies.
That's a good point. Maybe it's been upgraded in Nintendo's mind. It's like, all right, this was like on the front of Edge magazine. People keep talking about it a lot. Maybe we should just get it in there.
It was also in Nintendo's their Treehouse. So. I know they don't. Sometimes they put indie games in there, but usually they don't. But it was at their E3 Treehouse, so yeah, I think that maybe it's an upgraded level of priority for them.
I think Silk Song is too big for an indie. If they would have ended this last indie world with Silk Song instead of Eastward, it would have overshadowed the entire show. Everyone would have been talking about Silk Song. You would have been talking about Axiom Verge 2 and Tetris Effect and Metal Slug. That would have been the focus. So you have to put this next to bigger titles like a general direct, or if Team Cherry really wanted to, with the partnership of Nintendo, they could just drop it in a tweet and it would get a huge reaction.
I mean, its absence still made it trend on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, either way, people are talking about it. So
yeah, it's far too big to be in an indie show at this point.
Yeah, I almost wonder if they could open a direct with it. And just be like,
I mean, they usually open with Smash, but yeah, it definitely, if it was like at the beginning of the direct, that'd be great. And they dropped it, like, let's say demo plus, like if they did like demo plus the game, like in release date, that would be huge for a direct,
Yeah. So maybe that's what they're gonna do then. They're gonna do that route. I feel like Turtles might just get a release date on Twitter, and they'll just roll towards the release this holiday. It's still supposed to be coming out this year. So unless they announce a delay on it. And Sports Story will probably just randomly show up in an indie world at some point, but that's sidebar, and they don't exactly have a lot of people working on that game, just like how Team Cherry doesn't have a lot of people working on Silk Song. So they'll get there when they can. But overall, good indie world. I liked it. It was a solid, like you said, OG, probably a solid B. So pretty good. Evan, we got Discord question over there.
Would having
some of the super chats as well.
Would having a Star Fox game only be an on-rail like shooter be too dated nowadays?
That is a good question. Would it be?
I mean,
because at this point, people question just a 2D game like a Metroid. So
I think I'm just gonna keep championing it. Like, you have a game like Assault, just modernize it a little bit, and you don't necessarily. I think Star Fox would benefit from that. I think a lot of people would get on it for only being a dogfight on rail thing, but I think when you've had the flexibility of a previous game that was a great game. Like, why not just build upon that? Have online multiplayer while you're at it too. Like, heck.
Assault had the portions where you get out and shoot too, so it was like
Exactly.
it was a bit more dynamic. So if they just follow that, I agree with Click. If they just follow that formula and just you can either make a new game based off of that and make it as close as possible, almost make it like kind of like a spiritual type of thing, kind of how like people were like associating Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess, you know? Like it doesn't have to be a direct sequel, but like make it in the same spirit of that game. Dude, I think it'd be fine.
Like even remember the portions where you're like because of the storyline, like you end up on like the wing of an R-wing, you know, and you're like shooting all the enemies, you know, and defending and stuff. Like that's so cool. You could change it up however you want. I just think, I don't know, it's I think it's almost a shame at this point that we haven't built upon that formula a little bit more, because I think it was great.
Yeah, I agree. It's unfortunate.
So it's not only pop out super chats here, but I can read some of them that I can see here in like the preview thing. This is from Dreadful Rob Robot saying only one: Paper Mario 1000 Year Door 2 or New Golden Sun?
New Golden Sun.
New Golden Sun.
Oh. I'd probably pick Golden Sun because we have Mario other stuff.
I would probably do Golden Sun as well. Yeah.
So I'd probably pick Golden Sun because a new Golden Sun on Switch. Imagine how dope that would be, man. Like that'd be so good.
This one's from Toxic Fanboy. Says, but is it big old beefy boy? Sebastian says, Witcher Netflix anime movie thoughts?
Is that out? Did it come out?
No, I think it's at the end of this month.
Soon, yeah.
Yeah, like 2 weeks or something.
I think it's cool. I'll watch it. I'm not counting the days, but I'm excited for it.
PKG says, yo. X Era 404 says Stadia is pimping their tech out. Nintendo is gonna take that, and I can't read the rest because it's not letting me pop it out. We'll come back to that one. RG, same thing there. So let me figure out this super chat situation, and then we'll read it as we get further into the show here. Evan, we got a Discord question over there.
Does anyone like the 2012 reboot Need for Speed Most Wanted? I think that was the one that came out on PS3, 360, Wii U, and all that.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah, but I'm a big sucker for car crash games, even if it's just in a race. I love that.
Okay. Let's see.
Go with another one. Who would win at a Pokemon battle against each other? Click's cat or RGT's sea monkeys?
I like that question. I don't know. What? You think your cat would be able to take his sea monkeys, Click?
Cat? He can break skin. I would like to think he could take on a bunch of gross looking swimming things.
I can read this one here. Cyber Knight says, hello, much love to you all. I wanted to ask, has anyone seen that rumor of Sly 5 in development? People are now hyped now that Nick said he has heard of it too. Can you guys elaborate on it? Is a Sly Cooper 5 coming?
What? Who the hell is Nick?
Yeah, who's Nick?
I can't read. Special? SHPESHAL.
Oh, Xbox
Special
era Nick.
Special Nick.
Okay.
That one.
Yeah, okay.
Sly Cooper 5, Nate. What do you keep saying that for? You keep saying, okay. Yeah, Sly Cooper 5.
I would love a Sly Cooper 5, but I mean, I believe Sucker Punch is busy with other projects, so I'm not sure who would be making it.
Ethan says, would Nintendo go so far as to shadow drop Bayonetta 3, given the Bayonetta 2 marketing strategy? Kind of wouldn't put it past them. I think that's going to have a marketing run up.
No,
I mean, it could be.
What is he talking about? Bayonetta 2? They did directs for Bayonetta 2. They showed it off multiple times. I don't know what he's talking about.
It could have the same like time from announcement to release, like Metroid Dread. Like it could come. They could announce it's coming out in 4 or 5 months or something like that.
But they've been doing a ton of promotion for that. You know, they want to hype this stuff up. The promotional work for the Switch era has been completely different.
They announced Bayonetta 2 very early. They announced that like at a round. It was like a developer where they just were showing like Nintendo Land. It was like before the Switch before the Wii U even came out. I think they announced that game, Bayonetta 2. So yeah.
Amazing Game says, yo, OJ Ninja Village representing here.
Shout outs.
All right, cool. Very good, very good. Let's go to this abandoned situation. So this is gonna be a whole thing. I already know it.
Get the popcorn.
Nah, it really won't be.
Well, Sean's not here. It would be a whole thing.
Can I go make some popcorn? Is anybody gonna rant here? Can I go make some popcorn real quick?
Sean might break something in his room if he was here.
Who's gonna rant? Is anybody going to rant?
I'm sure somebody's gonna say something about this.
I can't rant about it.
a minute 42. I'll be right back. No, you guys talk. Go talk.
This is the stupidest non-story hype. Oh my god.
Abandon. This was a whole thing too, because people released videos and they ended up actually putting out an update, but it wasn't really an update. Anyway, we had heard that they were going to finally reveal their app, which is a real-time experience application, one where you, I guess, wouldn't watch a trailer through YouTube compression. You would actually have it on your system, and it would render the visuals in real time, I guess, is the idea.
Yeah,
it was going to use haptic feedback, right? The advanced side feedback, use 3D audio, all this stuff. They delayed the patch basically they sent a message like 3 times saying, hey, we're working on it. It's coming. It's going to happen. We promise. And then finally they deleted all those tweets and then they released an update. And the update, from what I can tell, just uploaded the Twitter video that they had put out the day before into the application. It was like 5 seconds long. A person walking past boards. That does look like Silent Hill. You know, that's the idea that they're playing at, obviously. And that's it.
Why didn't they just say the video we have shared on Twitter is what you are going to see with the application update? Because that probably was not their original plan. That was something that they could throw together quick and say, look, we did something.
But what was their original plan then?
There was no plan. This whole thing is nonsense. It's all smoke and mirrors, and that's all this is. And people say, but look, it has similarities to PT, because that's what Hassan wants you to think. He's taking something that came out years ago and is saying, let me recreate this as close as I can with asset flips and make you think this is the genius work of Kojima. There's nothing here. And when you look through the history of Blue Box games, they are doing the same playbook ad nauseum.
Yeah, I did a video listing all they keep doing this, which is they announce something, they say there's going to be a teaser, then they just cancel it completely. They've just done this literally every year since 2015.
Yeah, people really looked into the history of them and found a lot of stuff. And we talked about that a while ago, Nate, when this was first popping up. Some of the stuff that they had done, because we saw that game Haunting that was on Steam, and they had it under a different name and everything, a different studio almost.
Yeah,
and
they got rid of their original name on it, almost so like no one could link it back to them. And I've gone through the Wayback Machine to look at their old website where they were asking for investors next to one of the worst character models ever rendered.
And you don't think they're going to abandon, do you?
I would. Well, they should have abandoned this sinking ship before it left dock. But the weird thing with this, and this is the point that gets me frustrated, is that the ship of Blue Box Games has had more holes poked into its hull than the Titanic, yet the fans run over as quick as they can to patch it up. This boat is sinking, but these conspiracists continue to plug these holes. No matter what you come out and say, hey, here's legal documentation from the Dutch Chamber of Commerce proving that the only employee at the studio is Hassan. They'll say, no, it's Kojima. Like, based on what? Yeah. His name translates that in Turkish. Okay, no, it doesn't. That was never true. And then you have individuals come up with other theories saying, well, Abandon was in a state of play. It never was in a state of play. Whoever's creating that narrative is rewriting history, but people believe it. This is the stupidest event in gaming for the last 3 months. Why don't people instead take this energy and redirect it and give visibility to indie games that matter? We are giving attention to a project that will never release, that will never exist. I will give Hassan credit for one thing. He is an ambitious indie developer who has now flown far too close to the sun. His wings have melted and he is collapsing to earth. He tried to get his brand and profile spotlit. He wanted publishers and investors to notice him. He wanted to basically market himself, and he has done it incredibly well. There's an interview he did that I don't believe has been released, but aspects of it leaked, where he claims Konami had contacted him over maybe giving him the Silent Hill IP, which would never happen. But this is exactly what you as an ambitious indie developer want to do. He's made a name for himself. Publishers know him. His name is on their radar. So if he does have skill, maybe someone has contacted him. Maybe a small indie publisher house has said, hey, we want to see the project you have in development. We might have interest in publishing it for you. We might fund it. He's done an excellent job of marketing himself in the stupidest way. But the problem is all these people who continue to connect Kojima to this, or Konami. He has said, we're not connected to either of these entities. Yet people continue to push this false narrative because they cannot grasp the simple reality that this is not a grand scheme. This isn't the genius of Kojima. This is just a single indie developer who doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and they have to accept that this is that basic. And every time something is simple and has a basic explanation assigned to it, people look for something bigger. And this is something we saw with the JFK assassination. People said, it can't just, people have said it can't just be him.
This is the JFK assassination of video games.
Yeah, they say it can't just be that one individual. It has to be something bigger. It had to be the mafia. It had to be LBJ. It had to be the American government itself, because they wanted to go into Vietnam. They couldn't accept it was just one lone lunatic who happened to go into the book depository that day and shot him.
That's right up the street from me. I've been there. I've been in that building. And you know what? The mafia wasn't there.
What I want to know is this stupid app that they've got out on the store, right? And they're going to start uploading more things to it. But what is the goal of all this? Like,
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I agree with you that this is really a marketing thing, right? This is viral marketing at its finest. But what is the end game for this? Like, what happens
right now? This is the end game. We're talking about it. And why are we talking about it? Why is IGN continue to report on it? Why did Bloomberg and Jason Schreier report on it? That's the end game. His name is out there. Hassan's name is in numerous publications. The trailer got tweeted 40,000 times. This has been reported and treated as a big deal for this industry. So Hassan's name is now a staple in this industry for the time being, and he's going to get offers. He's going to be contacted about, business deals and that type of thing. That's the end game conversation. Hopefully this botched patch is enough for the industry finally to take a step back and say, you know what, buddy? This is a joke. You're trolling. We're not giving you the limelight anymore. We're done with you. Try again in a month, and hopefully no one covers you until you actually produce fruit. It is time to let this tree wither and die.
I mean, the weirdest thing about all this is definitely just how much he keeps going back and forth of like, oh, it was an accident. I didn't mean to say all these things and build up all this hype. Like the fact that Hassan did all the cryptic tweets and hints that this was Kojima related. And then everybody was like, wow, it's Kojima related. And then he was like, no, guys, I'm not sure why, when he tweeted out that video crying, guys, I'm not Kojima. Why are y'all saying that? Like, I don't know. They've burned their sympathy out. I've never seen a studio burn their sympathy out this fast, where the game's not even out and people are tired of it.
How did they get a dev kit? How did Hassan get a dev kit to actually publish this thing on the PS5?
That's a good question, actually, because he would have had to have made it, right? Like the app, right? The application.
Well, yeah. Or, and this is, I'm putting my tinfoil hat on. He got someone else to make it for him, right? But I mean, we don't know.
That seems like an issue. That seems like a serious issue, then, right? Like that would get somebody into trouble.
Yeah, possibly.
Did you make it for him?
No. I wouldn't make that piece of garbage for anything.
That didn't sound convincing.
That's the thing is, we don't know how the handling of dev kits works in the Netherlands. We don't know how willing Sony is to give them to an indie studio out there. And even like the PlayStation blog, the thing people continue to cite as, oh, this has to be something bigger. If you're willing to pay Sony's bill to get a blog post, they'll do it for you. So if Hassan just happens to be independently wealthy, handed Sony $25,000 for a marketing deal, you get the blog post.
Well, so I wasn't able to substantiate this, but a bunch of people were putting it. I made a video about this on Friday, and I had people sending me something, which is apparently at one point Hassan was claiming that Sony was funding Abandoned. It sounded like the way the stuff people were sending me was that he was trying to make the indie game, and Sony said, we'll fund it, let's do it. And now he just doesn't have a game, and he just took that money and they advertised it because they were going to push it out or something. Like,
yeah, it's one of the things people have no proof of, and all they cite back is to the PlayStation blog post.
Yeah, they're just trying to make sense of
it. And that's the thing, is they're trying to make sense of it. They're connecting dots and trying to make the picture that they want. So they're basically just window shopping to suit their conspiracy theory. They're ignoring everything along the way that disproves it, and they're just saying, well, let's make a big loop around everything else. Oh, look, we connected the dot again. I think it's just
confusing everyone because it's like, how did this get to this point? Like, how did it start? Get it on Sony? Hold on, are you telling me then, Nate? I just need to know, can I do this?
If you had access to a dev kit and you got it approved to
all
the
I need is access.
Store,
no, how do we know they have access to a dev kit?
They have to because they have the app. But they submitted something to Sony.
But then how do they get the dev kit?
That's the only loose end. But we don't know how free distribution is of the dev kits in that region.
Let me ask you this. I buy this dev kit off eBay because they've been popping up recently. All right. I get the dev kit on eBay. All right. Apparently I need, how much money do you need to get on the PlayStation blog?
About 25 grand.
20 grand.
20 grand. Okay. So I need the dev kit and I need $20,000, right? And then I can just have Sony look like idiots whenever I want.
No, you have to.
That's what you're telling me right now.
That's not how it works, unfortunately. You have to activate. Your dev kit needs to be activated. So you have to. Every PlayStation developer has an account manager, right? And your dev kits need to be activated. So they have to phone home. They're whitelisted, all that stuff. It's not just as simple as buying a dev kit off eBay. And
Hassan has he's registered in the Dutch Chamber of Commerce as a developer. So if he handed over all the correct legal documentation to Sony of Europe, he could have gotten access to a dev kit. For all we know, he got a dev kit in April when he announced this game for the PlayStation 5 on the blog.
So you're saying I need to go to Dutch Chamber of Commerce first.
Okay. Step one.
And get that all taken care of, all my paperwork, and then I can get a dev kit, and then I can show up on PlayStation blog at Sony with no proof of any kind of game.
We should make the Spawncast experience.
I know.
And every week we put Spawncast clips in the little boxes and then just drop them.
I'm telling you.
Let's just do it, man.
The whole experience is just Nate telling you personally to shut up.
Because I mean, they like this person admitted that the trees that we see in the trailer is like from the Unreal Engine assets. It's from the assets stored on Unreal Engine.
And every game he's ever put out, he has a game on Android that was just an asset flip. Everything to him is an asset flip, and that's why people are saying this is Hideo Kojima. What? This is just a solo indie developer, and people keep citing, explain what is it? Now or whatever the asset studio is. Like, we'll explain that statement. They're a contract studio. If Hassan went to him and say, hey, can you draw me a logo? And they said, okay, we have some available time. It's going to take us a month. The fee is $10,000, and Hassan was willing to pay $10,000 for it, then they would do it. Like, do people really think Kojima's coming out and mishandling this bad?
Yeah.
This isn't genius work. This is so stupid that people think it's genius because they can't accept that the reality is that this is nothing.
Well, let me come back to this for a second because I see super chats up here. The see more button on super chats does not work for some reason right now. So I feel bad if I don't grab these because it only shows like the first 5 words unless I can click that see more button. Evan, can you try that while you're over there to see if it works on your computer? Because it's not. I tried it on my laptop here and I tried it here and it's not working. I don't know if it's YouTube or something. But dude says, question for Spawnwave and MVG. My wife and I both have launch day switches, but both of them are consistently overheating after about 20 minutes of use. Do either of you have any advice on how we could fix this?
That's your territory, John.
I would say you want to look at that fan first of all if it's overheating because the switch doesn't really put off a ton of heat. You have to basically unplug the fan for it to overheat for the most part. So most likely there's a clog in there. If you take the back off, you can look at the fan and in there might be some dirt or dust or hair buildup and it won't be able to actually push any air out of the top. That's probably what's happening there most likely. Or the fan just isn't working.
Is that coming from like a lot of handheld use? Like overheating kind of stuff?
It could. Basically, like the way the switch is pulling air in, it's very possible that dirt and dust can build up because it's a very small like area that it pushes air through. And I've seen that with larger areas like in an Xbox 360 and a PS3. It's happened there. So it's something that does happen. But that's what I would think. It might be clogged up a bit with some hair, dust, or dirt. This from Chris says, I learned the hard way that ambition without resource can lead to building hype too early. Anyone would love hype like that, but you need a game first. Falcon says, I'm moving away for college for the first time. I'll be saving this podcast for the long drive ahead later this week. Keep up the good work, everyone. Then we have Wise Moments says, Nate, I understand what you're talking about, but it's time for you to take off the tinfoil hat. And I just have to say, a great businessman floating the books still gets their legs broken. Also, if OJ makes a certain comment, I'll donate $100.
Wait, what?
I think I'm wearing the tinfoil
I
hat?
understand what you're talking about, but it's time for you to take off the tinfoil hat. And I say a great businessman floating the book still gets their legs broken. Also, if OJ makes a certain comment, I'll donate $100.
What's the comment?
I don't know.
I have no idea what the hell he's talking about, to be honest.
You have to say the certain word.
I say a lot of stupid things on my stream, so I'm not exactly sure what stupid thing he's asking
the secret word for today.
I don't know. Well, OJ can think about it. And if you can't figure it out, Wise Moments, make sure you go by OJ's channel because he streams every day, and you can probably figure it out with him there. This certain comment. Yeah. Also, get that tinfoil hat off, Nate. Obviously, it's Kojima. Zero says, my man has moved from middle to bottom right. He loves console people. There we go. I don't know who's in the bottom right.
Currently,
on my screen is Nate. There you go.
What did I move to?
The bottom right.
Why am I there?
You're always there because you have a camera on.
That's where you belong.
What was the comment? MVG.
MVG's called Nate a bottom.
What was the super chat?
I'm trying to. Okay, Evan, you said I can see the super chats in Streamlabs.
Yes, go through Streamlabs. It's literally once you log into it and you see the graphs, just scroll down. And
I see him. All right, cool.
Yeah, just go to the 1 hour. I think Liam Warner.
The hell?
Got it. Oh, this is from Prime RPT. Says
hello from Portugal.
Yeah, hello from Portugal. It's kind of late here to watch you guys, but I wanted to congratulate you all for your always providing moments of laughter for all of us. Question for Nate: thoughts on Nemias Queta, the first Portuguese in the NBA, and what to expect?
Great things. The Portuguese always deliver when it comes to sports.
Liam says, "What's the first game that's
Fringe? What's the music?
Batupe.
Yes, don't hate on Batupe.
I didn't hate. I just said they gave music.
I even said it right this time.
Yeah.
That's a miracle, actually.
Okay, now I know I can see them all the stuff here. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. All right, very good. Okay, so back to Abandoned. Nate, what's the end game here?
Not a goddamn thing.
So wait, okay, that was the last thing I really wanted to go over is what happens now? Like,
do we get more though? Like, do we get like another bullshit experience and some other content?
According to the app, we're supposed to get like a playable demo, and then we get a launch trailer. Remember, this is supposed to come out this year.
Yeah.
It took Hassan 2 months to make a 5-second trailer of a character walking on wood with some of the worst sound sync ever recorded. So the full game is either going to be that hunting game or hunted, whatever the piece of shit Steam game was, just reskinned, and it's going to be early access, and then we just see nothing from it. Or Hassan and the whole company is going to vanish overnight before the year concludes, and then it's going to spring back up in like 2 years as Box Blue Games, and he's going to come up with a new term.
Is he going to have
he's going to find a thesaurus and he's going to say, what's similar to abandoned? Left. Okay.
So apparently I've been researching. This guy has a long history of like fraud products.
Yeah. I made a whole video about it. It's ridiculous.
For 6 years. Like, he's done this for 6 years, the exact same step-by-step playbook. This isn't new. This is sadness. This is sadness from the Wii. This is Seasons of Heaven from the NX days. It's just an indie developer saying,
at least that's on the book, though, didn't it?
Seasons of Heaven? Wait, people did interviews with the developers on that game and all sorts of stuff.
The situation with that game is hilarious because it was the summer of 2016 before the Switch was officially announced as Switch. It was still known as NX. And the developer for that game reached out to a bunch of content creators and they said, hey, we're going to give you some screenshots. Do you want to leak them for us? And people are like, what? And you had a handful of people who agreed and they did. And they're like, oh, this secret NX game just leaked. It's Seasons of Heaven. Here's these screenshots. It's Unreal Engine 4. Look how good the dog looks.
Right.
And it was all calculated by the developer itself.
That was a Switch exclusive. I remember that got announced as a Switch exclusive.
Yeah,
and that was right around the time. And what you call it, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is coming to the Switch as an exclusive too.
And it never came
big
out.
Things back then.
Yeah, it also had a book.
Well, okay, but did it sell the book?
Yeah, I think that was the plan, and then it never happened.
But the book happened.
Yes, the book happened.
See, I mean, at least there's an end game there. I'm like, okay, I get that. Like, I understand.
think the book existed before the game.
But like, I still understand.
I don't know.
I guess my thought about this is that I don't think a product can exist. If y'all are correct that Hassan is alone in this company and he's just taking these assets, like takes floorboards, takes a general character model. One of my subscribers linked to me the fact that the music in the trailer is just some royalty-free generic stuff he found online. Like there's nothing here. He's not like there can't be a game.
He could release a game. But it's going to be like, what was that terrible game on the PlayStation 4? That tiger game, Black Tiger?
Yeah, Life of Black Tiger.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that. And the sad reality is, if Hassan does release the game, people are going to buy it, convinced, oh, this is still a secret for the next Kojima project. We just have to beat it in a certain way and try to figure out some sort of riddle, because they're still not going to accept the reality that it's nothing. And he's going to sell a couple thousand copies because... people, I don't really want to use the term gullible. You're just stupid.
I mean, I think people, they might sell more than a couple thousand if they continue this, because so many people were just sitting there on stream waiting for the app to get updated.
Yeah. I want to stream that 5,000 concurrent viewers waiting for that demo.
How long can you take bait when you know you're being served bait?
People are just looking for that reveal.
But even a fish.
You're on Twitter, right, Nate?
Even
I think people can do a lot of stupid stuff for a very long amount of time. For a very long time.
You realize it's bait.
Right, but another fish will come up.
People on Twitter are like, I know this is bait, but I'm going to take the bait and get mad that it's bait. But you know what? I'm going to continue to do this because maybe it'll change this time. Like, you're actually insane. You're getting played by Hassan every week.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Switch Pro.
Something's going to change, and it never changes. He's going to reveal it. He's going to give us a 6-second experience next, where maybe we see one extra step taken.
Yeah,
it's a
pretty much yes. It's yeah. I mean, when do they release the next thing? Next week? 2 weeks? September?
Who knows? The game's supposed to come out in the next 3.5 months, so he has a lot to fill on that app.
We just got 5 seconds of footage. Like, what more do you need? Like, give the guy time to make.
It took him 8 weeks to make.
I mean, the floorboards
took him 8
They're
weeks.
Going to delay this game.
Delays.
They're going to delay the game in general.
Someone in chat said this is going to be the QAnon of video games.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
I believe in abandoned.
Spares. Yes, Rob. I can apply rationality to abandon. It's the only thing I have.
You know, I thought Nate was behind it the whole time too.
Yes, I told you I'm part of Lelulalulo and the Patriots, and this is what we've been doing all this time.
What just happened?
I had a stroke.
I don't know. I'm disappointed. I thought you were like the mastermind behind it all, Nate.
Yeah, I told you. Hassan and I go over to Amsterdam. We drink some absinthe. We have a couple pot brownies, and we laugh.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, he's got a trailer coming out in 3 weeks. It's going to be hot this time. You're going to see trees.
Wow.
Exclusive.
Some shitty smoke.
World premiere.
Yeah, I actually say that at the start. So when you boot up the app and you hear world premiere.
Do you think, hold on, you think Jeff Keighley does anything with this at the Video Game Awards?
You got to mention Keighley. Keighley's got to get on this action.
What if it, because he's aware of it, obviously. What if this game gets delayed to next year and he puts it up as like the winner for most anticipated game of the year?
I mean, I'll be curious. He does sometimes. Keighley does off the cuff jokes about the game industry. I would laugh if he even just makes a joke, being like, "The number one trailer abandoned."
No, he's got to find. He's got to find the guy developing this.
Yeah, he's gonna find Hassan.
He has to find him.
Hassan and Jeff have communicated over DMs. But Hassan promised Jeff a bunch of screenshots, and then he never gave them.
As far as I know, they're friends.
Well, and Hassan. There are
Money.
people who have been DMing Hassan and leaking DMs, and at one point, Hassan, there's a screenshot going around where he said, "This is going to be the Red Dead Redemption 2 of horror."
And then he backtracked on it, like, we're just a small company. We didn't mean like visually. We just mean it's gonna be like revolutionary.
Yeah, that's such a funny quote, though. The Red Dead Redemption of horror.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing?
You know what? At the end of the day, it'd be so funny if he actually proves us wrong and delivers like an incredible gaming experience.
I hope he does.
That would be actually awesome for all like the doubt that is cast upon it now, and it's just all been bad luck. Like things aren't working, and it couldn't get the demo out. Like it just all was a series of like legit unfortunate events. Like, that'd be funny.
Hold on. How long has this been a thing that's been going on?
Too long.
Abandoned April. April it was announced.
So here's my whole issue with this.
About it.
Really?
Yeah, I literally I just had to look it up. He looks like a tool bag, but
you didn't see it trending on Twitter yesterday?
No, dude's in a turtleneck. Like, what do you expect?
But it was trending.
The turtleneck slander.
Good job for a turtleneck every day.
It was cold out.
So Nate, here's
1,000 degrees where I live. That's why I don't wear turtlenecks.
Nate, are we beyond the point where we don't? They're not going to be saying, why do people keep linking us Kojima anymore? Right? Like we're beyond that.
No, people still believe it is Kojima.
But they keep leaning into. They keep playing into it.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you? If every time you do something, I would,
but I also wouldn't then go in an interview and say, "Oh, development's just suffering because of all of this. I don't know what could we do different. I don't know."
That's actually one of my concerns with this situation. Is I don't believe Hassan is a bad guy. The problem is that he's leaning into the Kojima, Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid stuff hard to get this traction and attention. But when this will backfire on him, he's going to get a mountain of harassment and abuse, and he doesn't deserve that. He has said, I'm not Kojima. We have no relationship with Konami. We are not making Silent Hill. But it's still going to lead to people DMing him and, probably sending death threats and all of that stuff, and that should be avoided. And, just, Hassan,
but wait a minute.
This and save face and just say, I'm an ambitious indie. I've had some fun with you. Ultimately, my project isn't going to be. I'm hoping it's an ambitious project. It may never come to light, but hey, it is what it is.
Can I ask a question? Because this is like what I'm getting from the whole situation is like, so what? He talked up a big game, and then everybody overhyped it. And people are hating it because they overhyped it, or
no? It's a mix of the two.
That I'm getting from it.
It's a mix of the two. He announced it in April, but it was on the PlayStation blog, and people said, "There's no way some random indie has a PlayStation blog post. This must be a front for Hideo Kojima."
Well,
and then it just took off from there. He leaned into it.
Well, so he did a bunch of very specific hints, like he did this thing
kind of stuff.
Well,
he said his game began with the letter S and ended in L.
Yeah, and then he kept doing
he
all
put a
sorts
space in the middle, and
he kept
just literally the dash is spelled out
Abandoned. There's no S.
Well, no. But he said the project is called Abandoned, but the game won't be, which is why everything's being hyped through Blue Box Studio. Then they did this weird teaser trailer at one point, and it said like no trespassers, and P and T was covered up by the sign, so it looked like PT demo. Then they said here's the picture for the trailer, and it looked like a blurry face of Solid Snake with the eye patch. He literally kept doing it. The font of Abandoned, they took the font from Metal Gear Solid to spell it out. Like literally, it's direct on purpose.
He's a really good troll. You guys got trolled.
He got trolled.
You guys were upset about getting trolled. Poor things.
So he's a masterful troll, and people just can't accept the fact that they are being trolled. They think it has to be something bigger instead of this guy is just marketing a box of nothing. He's literally marketing the mystery box.
Mm-hmm.
And people are saying, you could have Blooper Team make a Silent Hill, or you can have what's in this box. And people are saying, you're
saying that he's not a bad guy, but we also talked about he has a history of doing this shit, right? I mean,
he's not a bad guy because no one's being hurt financially except for himself. If you're investing money and he's not producing results and he's screwing you, Farkle, then hold on, that's a different thing.
They took money for the Haunting though.
Okay, then that's a bad move, and that's a shitty move. As far as Abandon is concerned, as far as we can tell, there is no investor. He's not hurting anybody.
That's what I'm
directly.
confused about. Like, there's not going to be a game. You're saying there's not going to be a game. So
there won't be an end game.
Why did they just throw money away on that PlayStation blog then?
Because he wants his name known. This is him selling his brand and to raise his profile. Because of all of a sudden, you do have an indie developer reach out to him and say, can we see a vertical slice of what you produced? We like what you did. We'd like to hire you. He got that because of this troll attempt.
Would he have a vertical slice ready, or is he going to show him the 5 seconds the person walks across the
hell knows?
Maybe it's 10 seconds this time.
I mean, and that's the thing. We don't even know if he can code. We don't know if he can program a game. We have no actual credits to his name to prove he can create something. But if that's his end goal of just getting attention for the industry and maybe advance his career, he did a brilliant job at selling himself. Although it does look kind of shitty when you can't even release your 5-second trailer on time. It takes you 3 days to release the exact thing you already tweeted. But his name is known. Everyone's talking about him. A person who has given you nothing.
Well, it reminds. There's an old Mark Twain quote where he says, "It's easier to trick a man than tell him he's been tricked." And I think about that a lot in the gaming industry, where people buy into the hype and then convince themselves that it's real, even when it's smoke and mirrors.
That's a lot of things, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm not specifically talking about video games. Of course, the quote applies to everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're talking about him. This is what he wants. Huh. So he's winning. He's ahead. He's ahead in this game because everyone is talking about him. If nobody talked about him, would he troll harder? Would he actually put like Liquid Snake in a tweet? Maybe. Would all of a sudden David Hayter come on and be like, "I'm an abandoned"? Maybe. But right now, he's doing nothing. He put up a blurry, generic profile of a head that had an eye patch on, and everyone said that has to be Solid Snake.
All right.
And people found out it was just an Unreal Engine 3 asset.
I think you're onto something here, though, Nate, with the David Hayter stuff, because
God.
I feel like he's on Cameo.
He is.
All I'm gonna say is a couple $100. We can mess the internet up real bad this week. All right.
All right. Yeah. I'll pay.
Don't you do that?
Let's
just a couple of clicks. Hold on.
Let's not make your lives more difficult. Okay.
All I gotta do is that, and it just finds its way online randomly.
I'm an abandoned.
I'm sorry. I just don't really see how this is a big deal. Like, honestly, if you think the guy's a fraud, just don't follow him. Just don't talk about him. Like, it's a game. You'll see it when you see it. I know for granted, people sitting here, we do news and you covered relevant topics, blah, blah, blah. But for the average person, just
here's the other thing with this, though. Here's the other thing. I almost wonder if there was more going on right now for Sony and PlayStation, if we wouldn't be talking about this as much.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
I just realized that. I'm like,
that's
not
one
a
part
lot's
of it.
happening right now for the PlayStation.
Yes.
We're not if Horizon was coming out next month, I'd be like, "What? We're just gonna be talking about Horizon."
If Sony was dropping news and there were big releases coming to the brand, people would be more focused on that instead of abandoned by random indie developer number 10 from the Netherlands. Instead, there's nothing happening in Sony's world right now, so people are focusing on this weird conspiracy theory of this game that's probably never coming to market because it gives them something to discuss in an otherwise deserted environment.
So it's a slow news day for the audience.
That's gone on for 5 months.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm just now hearing about it because it's stupid.
It is.
I need some milk.
Okay, so I found David Hayter's Cameo.com.
If you give him money to say anything about a band,
we'll post it up on the Spawncast Clips account. It'll be great.
It's $95.
You ever hear the one he did for Reset Era?
That's not bad.
All right, we should do it if we can get the Danny DeVito one too. I think that'd be great. Just to really mess with people.
What was the one for Reset Era?
He said, "Hey, Reset Era, why can't you people just be normal?"
Okay, that's pretty good.
It's a pun on a meme from the site where someone went into a thread. He said, "Why can't you fuckers just be normal?" After a person asked something so ridiculous where it was I forget what it even was, but it was something where you would actually respond what the fuck is wrong with you? So
it's probably
they ended
normal
up having
for
David Hayter read it. It's pretty funny.
Okay, that's good. All right, yeah, it's not too much. I mean, that could make for a fun day on the internet. I'll think about it.
No.
I know it. No, at this point,
wait.
No. At this point, I want the developer for Abandon to be like, "Okay, what's going on?
Are you Hassan? Has this been the secret all along?
Could be.
No,
could be.
No.
Find out at too many games.
No, there you go.
See, John's been so bored of PlayStation news, he hired an actor, named him Hassan, gave him a Twitter account, made all this fake bullshit. He had the whole plan of, if I just give Sony X amount of money and I buy a dev kit, then he used MVG to activate it.
Hey, those things are on eBay
these
now.
Pieces are coming
all over
down.
the place.
Yeah, why am I involved in that? Why am I involved in this criminal bullshit?
You needed someone to help him activate the dev
Why
kit.
not?
My
Here soon, I'm gonna get them.
You were very
You
quick
cried.
to answer what has to happen to activate it.
My question is,
you think
how is
I'm
there-
part of the Patriots?
How is there so much involvement and stuff involved with these people, but neither of these accounts are verified, but Sean is?
Because
True.
Twitter doesn't know what the hell it's doing.
Oh, okay.
Sean made
Got it.
Twitter rethink its entire verification process. Okay.
Understood.
What type
Okay.
of milk is that?
Oh gosh.
Power milk.
Is that whole milk?
Power
Hmm?
milk.
Lactose free. It's a protein
Thanks
shake.
to Cyber
love those.
TDM for becoming a
sponsored.
member.
Hashtag ad.
Not sponsored. Welcome, new member. Woo!
Hashtag
Welcome.
free milk.
Thank you,
Yo,
Cyber.
shout outs to
TDM.
Cyber.
He needs
He's the
some milk.
he's the homie.
I just got called an X-bot.
Yeah.
What? Oh, hold on. Is that a?
We did
I
get a
don't,
donation. Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it. Okay, I want to go through organically and see all of them in order correctly.
But we had such a good. Didn't they help change their whole ways like a week or two ago?
I thought we had a character turn.
I think this
don't
is a
know.
new account though.
Oh, interesting.
The next
Okay.
generation.
Have we got Discord question over there?
The last one would have been good if RGT was here. It was just someone suggesting that he cosplay as a Balan Wonderworld, or well, I guess it's Wonderworld, right? No, it's Wonderworld.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Yo, Sean's playing Balin. He's playing it. It's gonna
yeah.
happen.
Sean's
It's over.
Sean's
Yeah.
I've got a video teasing a video tomorrow.
It's
I don't
over.
know. It's looking very likely that he's gonna play that one.
Yeah,
Like,
he's running
it's-
scared.
I have a few sources, and there's also public information that's coming to light here. But it's over. He's definitely playing
Is
Balin.
there 3 million pre-orders?
I really want to do
I don't know if it's 3 million
sidecar.
pre-orders, but it's gonna be 3 million probably in like the first 6-7 months. I think.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be quick.
There's not 3 million pre-orders, but there are trends in terms of sales wise to where it's trending higher than games that have hit that amount. You know, so
Well, I really when he plays it, I hope he streams it, and I want to do sidecar because I'm probably one of the only people in the world who's beat Balan Wonderworld, and it's so
Okay,
bad. So
real
I want
quick
to tell him what to do.
everybody here, we're not gonna let Sean get away with this because he's gonna play the "I was wrong" and what else? Everybody make fun of this. Make videos. Don't let him profit off of this by him. I'm serious. Do
Oh, he's
not
hitting
let
those
this bum
titles.
profit on this by itself. No, call this man out and make your videos and profit off of it as well, because that's what he's gonna do. I was wrong. Here's my stream. I'm streaming. No, everybody profit off this just like this dude's gonna do. I ain't gonna let him do it because I know it's coming. I know it.
Oh
I'm
man.
gonna buy the game just so he has to play Balan. Like that's my only interest in buying the game first and foremost.
I'm gonna host like 12 giveaways just so we have 12 copies out there.
Man. I don't know.
Oh, Nate, what's going on? You're not sold on it?
I think it's going to sell well. I just don't know if I see 3 million in that first year.
Whoa! You're leaving this side of
It's
getting Sean to play the game.
definitely gonna do that.
See, I would have originally agreed, but with Sean's really shitty takes in the last couple of weeks, I have to agree with OJ on this one.
MVG with the heel turn. Fuck Sean. How it's going to sell over 3.
Metal Slug this week. What was last week? He said something ridiculous last week. I didn't remember what
He
it
always
was.
says something ridiculous.
Yeah, last
See, I'm trying to
I need to save this one, John. I need to
trying
save
to
it.
stay neutral. I don't want to take Sean's hot takes and have me flip on him yet. But you know, you're right. With the way he's trending, you might have to throw him.
Oh, he's going in. He's going in one of my video thumbnails or something. If Metroid cracks 3 million quick.
Thank you, John. Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted to hear.
Is that the last Discord question?
that was it.
Okay, cool. We go to Liam here. Says, "What's the first game that story made you cry?"
FF7.
Hmm.
When Aerith died, I tried. My mom walked in the room when Aerith died, and my mom was like, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "Because this character I like died." And she said, "Well, she's fake," and left the room.
Oh my god!
Damn, man.
Oh,
That's a good mom right there. That's a good mom.
Let him have his empathy. God damn.
You got to tell them when they're young.
From that day on, Max cared. No fucks given. Exactly 0.
They're fake. Now Max, look at that. Now Max is a ladies man. Now he's a ladies man because now he's worried about real women. See, she helped this dude out.
No 2D ladies for me.
That's a good idea. See, look back, it's like, okay, real women better than fake women. I get it.
You put it that way.
Internet Explorer says super hype for Samus Returns. September 15th can't come soon enough. Noah says, do you think Sony's acquisition of Crunchyroll and VRV will have any effect on PlayStation outside of bringing the Crunchyroll app to the console? PlayStation published anime games. I think the word was they might even bring it Crunchyroll to the PlayStation Plus services like an advanced tier, so more expensive. I don't know if they're going to go with any kind of PlayStation published anime games though. Junk says, why do you think people think using an emulator pirating games that aren't being sold as the greatest sin? Oh, why do people think that's a bad thing? I mean, we've been through this a lot, MVG, with emulation. That's not a
some issue. People don't like emulation, and I respect that. I respect, those people. But at the end of the day, it's something that has been proven to be legal. There's been many court cases over the course of video game history that emulation is legal. As long as you abide by certain rules, and the main one is don't rip off, proprietary libraries and stuff like that. You do a clean room, emulation, then you should be in good shape. But I mean, some people don't like emulation, and that's I guess it's on them, for that reason.
Well, are you saying like you've owned the game and you had it and you can't play it now? Like, what do you mean? Because like to me, it's like
what I mean is like you're running Dolphin and you're running Mario Sunshine on your PC, regardless if you own a copy of it or not. Some people don't like that, but
that's stealing.
Some people do. Is it?
How would you not consider that stealing, though?
Is it stealing if you own a copy of Mario Sunshine?
Oh, what I'm saying is if you don't own a copy.
Oh, well, I mean that you're right. That is piracy at that point. Like you've downloaded a ROM and you don't own the game. But if you own the game and you rip a copy of that disc and then you use that on an emulator, I mean that's
what do we do if
that's a legal backup, right?
Yeah.
Well, it technically it is, but some countries they don't actually acknowledge that.
So
that's
what if the parent company of the game doesn't sell it anymore?
Well, that's a great question, right? What happens at that point? And look, there's so many and that's the thing about emulation. It's not just a simple yes or no, or like there's so many gray areas involved.
Like what about before Scott Pilgrim vs. the World came back? It was delisted. You couldn't buy it anymore. It was only digital.
Yep.
So there's legitimately no, like, you can't buy it in the used market. So what do you do that? Like, is it stealing if you just download it and play it then, because there's absolutely zero way for you to get it?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, that we need to get a lawyer or someone to clarify that one. But like, I will say that, I mean, who's the company that owns Scott Pilgrim? I mean, they would still have a right to say, no, that's right. That's wrong. We're going to take that offline. So, I mean, there's so many different, facets to this.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep, absolutely. Then we have Nate Squeaky Fan, who says, Joy-Con boys forever.
You can't talk.
Shinru says, evening all, what do you guys think about the last story on Wii? Thought about grabbing it off Amazon, but they're asking for $100 plus.
Ooh, how much is a sealed one? Because I got one of those.
You have a sealed? Wow. Buy, wait, or skip any Wii games y'all recommend. Thanks.
Last story is fantastic. Absolutely amazing. I would love a remaster of the game. It's very, very good. And I don't think the online's up anymore, but like the Boss Rush online was also really good. I highly recommend Last Story. That's a Miss Walker game.
Yep. I will tell you, I think the Wii market is going to continue going up pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to let you know that now. That $100 Last Story might be climbing as we go over the next couple of years anyway. So just putting that out there.
I got this for $4 complete in box because the guy didn't know what it was. He said, "Hey, you like RPGs, right? You want this?" I went, "I do like RPGs. I do want that."
Let's see. We have Shinru says, now that Dreamcast guy is here, MVG, can you tell us what the Spawncast console looks like. Dev kit reveal when?
Oh, the thing we were talking about like 6 months ago. That we're going to make our own console.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. What's it going to look like?
What's it going to look like?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Just since this is the one time it's sort of relevant, Spawn helped me build a Super Dreamcast. I haven't been able to do a video with it, but it's this thing.
It looks like a Raspberry Pi. How about that?
Back in. So one of those HDMI Dreamcasts with the freaking thing with every freaking game on there and stuff. Custom case. So that's
there you go.
Spawncast created
Purple case. There we go. I like the translucent purple. Nate the Xbot donated $1.99 saying Jeff Grubb lied about Starfield 2021, Xbox Live being free. Hey, Xbox Live could still go free at some point. You never know. Ruffle says, what's that?
I was going to say, what did you lie, Jeff? What did you lie?
Ruffle says Yoshida sucks at his job. How did he fall for this? Yet we have both Xbox and Nintendo advertising real quality indie games. Sony dropped the ball. You know, even Shuhei kind of tweeted about it and was like, what is this? Like,
Shuhei didn't drop the ball. It's not his job, for that stuff. I mean, his job is to market indies. And when he saw this, he's like, what the hell is this?
He was like,
he went to go boot it up. I was like, this is what my schedule tells me is supposed to come out. And he put out the tweet, didn't follow up with anything other than this is on the system and it's his job. And then he went to something else like 10 minutes later. And
I feel like if I was Sony, I'd be a little annoyed about this too, because people are tying Abandon to the PS5.
It makes you talk about the PS5.
But it looks like a lot of incompetence all the way around, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sony can change their thing and actually go to him and say, guy, you have to actually show us something.
I mean,
but it's on Sony in Europe to do it.
That's true.
Sony of America can't do shit.
That's a good point. I mean, they could kind of nudge them in that direction. This is from Pixelated Pigeons saying vertical slice. Then they have Ethan saying solid snake oil. Wishbone says, I just watched the latest Ghost Adventures episode and it was about the place that Mark Twain wrote his books. The reality is mind-blowingly weird.
Yeah.
Mark Twain.
And his estate was crazy. I've seen pictures of it. It's crazy.
Did you know the Yankees outfielder Paul O'Neill was a distant relative of Mark Twain?
No.
Wow.
Now you do.
That's crazy.
Shut up, Fringe.
Let's see. Okay. Time for the... I don't think that's right. There's different language in here. And I was trying to figure out what it said, and Google Translate just says it's time for the comb to wipe out the lice. So there you go.
Oh, what?
Yikes.
That's what it translates as when I copy and paste it into Google
like
Translate.
Yeah, in what language? Because that's German or something.
Says Spanish. Here's what Google Translate detected it as. So I don't know. There you go. Derek says, hello, OJ. I turned 11 today, and I love the Spawncast.
What's up, bro?
Fried says, yo, if Bannon actually releases and has a physical, I'll buy it and keep it sealed. I'm part of the problem. I know, don't judge me, Nate. You probably will. But this whole Bannon thing is so funny, and I love it.
Hey, if he releases a game and you have fun playing it, by all means,
there you go. Shamsa donated a big 100. Shout out to Shamsa. We were talking about some of those multi cartridges earlier today on Twitter, and I actually bought a few of them. Probably take a look at it in the video here, maybe tomorrow, I think. So big shout out to Shamsa there. Snowy says, hey, Jordan, thank you for standing out tonight. Shout out, Jordan. Swag says, abandoned dude is probably lonely. Nate should invite him to Yankees game and make him resent his sins.
Hey, if someone wants to come to a Yankees game, I will talk to him and he will release a video apologizing for abandoned, and we will make the greatest sport simulator ever released, and we will put EA out of business, and we will become Blue Box big.
Okay. And he says, what is the best video game opening? Personally, the first 30 minutes of Jedi Fallen Order are 10 out of 10.
Last of Us, the first one.
Best video game opening.
I think Last of Us. I mean, that, yeah.
The best like video game like opening for playing, I was gonna say because if it was like cinematic, probably Final Fantasy VIII.
Or I might say FF7. The bombing mission of FF7 kind of introduces you to combat and stuff. It's only like 10 minutes, but I feel like that just sets up the world and the problem so well.
I like Death Stranding too, and I'm not trolling it. The intro is awesome.
You know what? Yeah. I've been thinking about this a lot. I think when the Death Stranding director's cut drops, I think I'm gonna go back to it. But I need that save game to transfer over. That save game's got to transfer. If it doesn't, I'm probably not gonna play it.
To do additional, versus having to replay. I could see that.
It's got to go over. Yeah.
I still liked Ghost of Tsushima's. And then also, oh god, what was the other one?
I'm playing that. Yeah, we're playing that this week coming up. So,
you guys are forgetting one, man. Go ahead, Click.
What?
No, I literally just forgot. There was one more that just like hit me different.
Oh, I know you're talking about, OJ.
No, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. Fantastic. You guys don't remember or just Metal Gear Solid, the original Metal Gear Solid.
I thought you were going to say Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, that
Mass Effect 2, yes.
That intro's good.
2's opening was cool.
Mass Effect 2, absolutely. But Metal Gear Solid has one of the greatest openings. Like the Hideo Kojima and like all the
that's the first time we had like credits and stuff in a game when you're going up through it and you're like, oh, this is like a movie. Yeah. You're going up there. That was the first time I saw that. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
I think just the title screen into the game for God of War.
Hold on a minute.
Okay.
Hold on a minute.
What?
Quick, you still haven't played Metal Gear Solid yet.
No. How am I gonna play it?
You know what's funny? Actually, we were talking about
I thought he gave you a copy on the PS1.
He gave me a disc, but where am I gonna play it?
No, it's on PC. Click. It's on PC.
Oh, is it on Steam?
Yeah.
You can download I made an emulator and play it.
I'm not gonna touch emulators. I'm not gonna touch it.
I made that HDMI PS1. I should just give you that at Too Many Games, Click, and you can just use that to play it. It's HDMI out. So you can stream it. I'm not doing anything with it. It's sitting at the office right now, not doing much. So
if she doesn't take it, I will.
Use that.
I need.
I'll just give you mine to make an HDMI one.
I need to get the board. That's the only problem. They come in and out of stock. And now we were just talking about Metal Gear last week, and I actually ordered the HD collection off of eBay because they have them sealed. But this has 2 and 3 and Peace Walker. It doesn't have 1, unfortunately.
Yeah, it doesn't have 1 on there, but it's still very good. You know. Kojima
or backwards compatible best. PS3. That'll work for you too, Click.
Or PS2.
Or PS2.
I don't have any more room in this apartment. I need like everything on my PC.
We need to get Click to experience Metal Gear Solid, okay? She's got to experience
eventually.
it.
Isn't it on the PlayStation? Isn't it on the PlayStation 1 Classic? That's about the size of a credit card.
Yeah.
No, don't play that. Don't play that.
Yeah, that's hot garbage.
It's Metal Gear Solid 1.
Look how small it is.
That is arguable that it still is Metal Gear Solid 1.
Come on, Nate. She's going to think that it sucks if she plays that version of the game.
Yeah. Hey. Okay.
Let's see. We have Muscle says your waifu is not real. Get over it.
Oh, come on, man.
Empire says if you need a sponsor for the first episode of Sportscast, please reach out. That's Empire Fantasy Football. There you go.
The bag.
Yeah. Hey, man. I might want to talk to you about that.
There we go.
Coming up. So.
And in sports-related news, the Yankees are 1 out away from securing a win over the Chicago White Sox.
No, we ain't talking about baseball, man. We need something that moves a little bit quick.
Who's not excited about the Yankees winning anyway?
Me.
Sean says pre-order Game of the Year Shin Megami Tensei 5. And Zaddy says, Zaddy says, you say, John, that Arlo and you aren't the same person, but I won't be fooled. Keep up the good work. Hey, we were on a podcast together last week.
What was that person's name?
Zaddy? Z-A-D-I-E?
Yeah, I just wanted to say it one more time.
I hung out with Arlo in real life once, and obviously he's like a normal dude, but he has the puppet with him. And whenever people would like, hey, Arlo, can I get a picture? It was so funny because he'd have to get the puppet ready, and then he'd go. And it's just like funny seeing him like, all right, I'm ready. Let me prop the puppet up and lay on the ground because I just want a picture with the puppet.
Angelo says, hey, I'm looking for the best way to play some of my older consoles on my TV. Any recommendations? Consoles I'm looking to play, 5th generation and older. My PS2, GameCube, N64, Dreamcast. Please help. Well, with the GameCube, you can get the Eon adapter. That's probably the best way you're going to be able to play that right now. PS2. You know what? Just MVG knows the Retro Tank, right, MVG?
Yeah, the Retro Tank is awesome.
Just grab that for across the board, right?
So good. Yep.
Just go with that. Yeah, just get that. It'll work for all of those systems you just listed. That's harder to get. I'm having a hard time getting one of those. They seem to pop up and go right away, and then they pop up on eBay for like $400 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Demi Crow says, I'm so happy that SMT5 is getting good pre-order sales according to GameStop. Anthony says, do any of you have ins on your game collection?
Insurance?
Insurance. I do not.
What?
I have I have homeowners insurance.
Oh, there's homeowner insurance, but I haven't gone and been like, hey, put insurance on this copy of Gotcha Force.
No, you can get collector's insurance to insure everything that you have in general, from the more collectible stuff, not just like the usual home or life insurance stuff.
There you go. Space Otter says most collection on Vita. Most collection on Vita. You mean like just who has
collectible?
What is
most
collectible?
Who has the most here?
Probably Max, right? Dreamcast guy.
I have about 25 Vita games.
Yeah, I'd say Max does.
About 30.
You got the full library then. No, I'm joking.
I know, right?
I'm joking.
Then Space Otter says MGS Metal Gear Solid. Dark says, hey guys, you never read my first super chat. Come on. Maybe I can find it. Let me see. While I'm looking for that, let me go around here as well so people can do outros as we finish up. Let me go to MVG. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and on YouTube at Modern Vintage Gamer. Have a Monday video coming out as normal. And I'm sure Nate and I will have a new episode next week. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
The Cardinal says we need Click to start with Metal Gear Solid 4. Who's with me? No, you end with Metal Gear Solid. Well, yeah,
no more numbers.
5, I guess. Just go in normal order.
So what you gotta do is you gotta play Peace Walker and then Acid 1 and 2, and then what you need to do.
Follow the numbers.
True.
Just go with the numbers. Jordan, where can everyone find you?
You can find me
the Metal Gear games.
You can find me in the Metal Gear games.
What about the
you can find me on the channel Jordan Fringe. Doing content, a couple videos every week. So appreciate the support.
Then let's go to OJ. Where can everyone find you?
I'm right here on YouTube. Got a cool video going down. Talk about some Nintendo stuff. Talk about some RPG stuff coming up for the week. Finally doing the top RPGs. People have been asking me for it. So top RPGs, Switch and other stuff. Probably other platforms if the video does okay. So be doing that. So yeah, and I live stream pretty much every single day, except for Sundays. But sometimes I do on Sundays. So yeah, Player Essence on YouTube and Player Essence on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, see what's up. See what's up and all that. Thank you for having me on, John. Appreciate it.
Let's go to Click. Where can everyone find you?
Thanks for having me. You can find me here on YouTube as MissClick Gaming, or you can find me where I'm most active every day on Twitch at MissClick_live. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as just MissClick. And we're going to be starting Mass Effect 3 on Monday. So I'm excited to
let's go.
Let's
start the third install. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun.
Even though you cheated during Mass Effect 2, but that's
How did I cheat? No, I didn't cheat. I specifically said, hey, you want to watch me piss OJ off? And then I messaged you, and then...
No, I'm not talking about... I'm talking about how you completed Mass Effect 2 without losing anybody on the first one.
That's not cheating. That's called I'm a good leader.
No, okay? I think you looked up... I think you looked up what to do. But you know what? Let's not talk about it right now. We're not...
Wow. Okay. I'm just that good. I'm just that good.
Okay, maybe you did. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Not saying that it was for sure.
Find these. Still just looking for... I'm gonna keep looking through here to find them. Let's go to Max, Dreamcast guy. Where can everyone find you?
YouTube.com/Dreamcast guy. This week I'm going to be talking about Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, and I want to officially say, Spawncast. We're doing a show at Too Many Games. I want to arm wrestle OJ. I'm gonna arm wrestle everybody on the podcast, and you're all gonna beat me, but I'm officially gonna arm wrestle everybody. It's gonna be great.
Nice.
I still can't pop out the super chat thing.
Still can't pop it out either, and maybe that's if they did actually do super chats. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, because they don't all show up in Streamlabs. They're not all showing up in Streamlabs.
Yeah, but maybe that's why they're not showing up in Streamlabs is because YouTube super chat BS is broken, so it's not getting.
That's
everything.
A good point. Well, let me record the. I see Dark Requiem. No, I can copy them. Hold on, I can copy the names down. I can go back and read them next week. I just want to make sure I get them in for that. I saw Dark Crime. I saw another one. Dave Cameron as well.
Yeah, and then Acute Perspective.
Yeah, Acute. Yeah. So I can't actually read any of the super chats. I think from like the beginning of the show, essentially.
Well, no, some of these are from the beginning, but like I just don't think it's catching them all.
No, it's like spotty through Streamlabs. Even if I go to like just even if I just go to like Super Chat.
Yeah, YouTube's back office. I click see all, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it just sits there. So I apologize for that. I'll go through. What we'll do is when we come back next week, I'll just go from the top. Like I should be able to see it. Usually I just click a button and it like pops them all out and I can just scroll through them in order. So what I'll do is at the beginning of the show next week, I assume it'll be fixed. I can go back to the beginning here and then just read any of the ones we missed up until now. So and then Nate, where can everyone find you?
They can find me on YouTube at Nate the Hate and on Twitter at Nate the Hate, followed by the number 2. MVG and myself will have a new episode next week discussing something that may happen, may not happen, and we discuss why it may or may not happen. So it's something people should be on the lookout for.
Abandoned 2.
Yeah. No, something better than Abandoned 2.
I see RG in the chat there too for the super. Okay, I got your name down. So I'm just gonna go through and I think it's just like most of the beginning of the show, just like the super chats aren't populated in Streamlabs. So, this was Stadia is better. My first super chat was about OJ's thoughts on it. Did you get a chance to play Neo Worlds with you at all, OJ?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you? I haven't had a chance to play it at all. Like I wanted to, and I just have not had a chance to play. I haven't had most of this Death's Door.
I finally opened it up and just played just a tiny bit, but I mean, I played a lot from the demo. So it just carries over. So I have put some time into it, but the demo is pretty much the same game. So, because it carries over. But yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's really, really, really good.
Well, I will go back through the super chats next. First thing we'll do is go through those just to make sure I got them all. So I got you guys here. But that is it for Spawncast tonight. We'll be back next weekend because we'll have Pokemon to talk about. As apparently we're going to find out more about Arceus and I'm hoping it looks good.
Were you thinking a delay on that?
Absolutely
that
not.
No,
absolutely not.
Interesting.
It really depends on what they show off. If it still looks rough, I'm calling it a delay.
It's I'm hoping they show it off and there's a lot more to it than what they've shown so far, and I hope it runs better in their.
No, I have high hopes. I think we're gonna see some good stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously we know Diamond and Pearl. People are already excited for that as it is. So cool. All right. Well, we'll be back next weekend. Talk all about that. And we'll see you guys then.
Think for yourself. Question authority.
Everything. Oh, authority.